show the camera. There's those. Awesome. Perfect. And then go ahead and take a look at them. Okay. And tell me, which one of those animals do you connect with more?
I have no idea the name, but this one.
Yeah, why?
I like its openness. Like, also it gave me like an insight of infinite possibilities because it has infinite, tails, or I don't know. And I feel like it's colorful and I like the colors.
I think I connect with this one more because it like reminds me about the like more opportunities, if you look around it. So I would say this one.
This one?
The sea star, I think.
Sea star?
Yeah.
Why?
It's a little bit weirder. I like weirder looking animals. I'm mostly realizing it looks kind of like a face hugger, and I like it more.
The deep sea spans a wide variety of depths, from 200 meters all the way down to 10,000 meters.
When you get past the top 200 meters, it's very dark and it's very cold.
People's impressions of it are that it's kind of a scary place. I'd like to think that people see it as a place that's unknown, but full of lots of beautiful life. In the deep sea, there's all sorts of animals. Most of them are not recognizable as things with faces.
Animals that don't have faces are some of my favorites that I've seen throughout my career. Some of the animals that come to mind are sea stars, corals and sponges, jellyfish. They are weird and wild, colorful and exciting, and some of these animals have never been seen before by any other person.
It's difficult for people to connect with animals in the deep sea because they're alien. They're very distant from what most people are familiar with. It's hard to compete with anything that can look back at you. The eyes are a natural part of our biology. It's a hard call to say that some squishy kitten is more difficult to like than one of my spiny starfish, but I like weird stuff.
Which animal do you connect with more?
The top one, mainly because I don't know what it is, but it looks mysterious, and I feel like it has like a lot of hidden talents just by looking at it. It looks like one of those abnormal things, so that's my answer. That was a catfish at first. Thought you took me back to Alabama.
I guess this one.
Can you show the camera?
That one. This
Yeah.
one, I don't know, this one seems like a catfish.
I like the shape.
You like the shape?
Yeah, this one looks like an angry catfish. Doesn't that look like an angry catfish to you?
If you present people with animals that don't necessarily have faces or animals with which they're less familiar, you might wonder if the interest factor, the novelty, the sense of curiosity might inspire people in some cases to try to empathize more. For the deep sea case, it's not even just empathy for our species different from our own, but the possibility of empathy for things we don't even know about yet, I think is a fascinating area that, to my knowledge, hasn't been studied in great depth within our field.
To be empathetic towards an animal in the deep sea would be to try to understand what their environment is like and how they interact on a daily basis, which can be kind of hard to do because our life is just so different from theirs.
Imagine myself as a jellyfish. Well, clearly I'd have probably a lot less going on in my brain. They don't have brains. But some of them do have eyes and vision, and so they can actually see their environment, and they have to react to that environment much like we do.
Perhaps because sea stars resemble people superficially, having 5 arms, people can relate to that somewhat. We often see deep sea stars feeding on corals. You can see the stomach extruded out onto the surface. We don't know anything about whether sea stars feel satisfaction, but superficially, The discs are extremely swollen following feeding, so it doesn't take much to imagine that that's fat and happy. The objective is trying to make people care and trying to bring some kind of character and humanity, if you will, to these bizarre animals that live on the bottom.
If I had to choose to empathize with one of these two, I'm torn. I want to say I choose this fish on my right, your left, a little bit more. Yeah, I have this intuitive pull to try to attribute some sort of emotionality based upon the facial expression. I know that's just how its faces. On the other hand, for this animal, trying to understand what is it like for this animal to live in this habitat. Questions in terms of its form make me want to learn more about it.
Do you connect more with animals with faces or without faces?
I'd say to answer the question, no faces doesn't really matter to me because you kind of see the movement of the creature anyways. So even with as octopuses have faces, but you can see the little personalities when they move. So I don't think if they have a face, it doesn't really matter. It's just how they behave outside.
With faces, I feel like without faces is like scary. Yeah. So I like seeing people's faces. So.
I guess I could relate to a fish with a face more, but I think the ones without a face are more interesting because there's more unique.
Yeah, I prefer no faces because I'm like a personality guy, so the appearance doesn't matter for me, So I would say no faces here.
I don't think it matters. I mean, I like the starfish, and I don't see its face, and I don't really care for the catfish eel, but I see its face. I mean, I like dogs and cats and horses and cattle, and they all have faces. I like people, and you too have faces. Yeah. But I also like abstract art, and that's what we have here.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In its own way.
I think one of the things that's often difficult to get people to appreciate is just how rare and how poorly encountered some of these animals are. Almost an intellectual appreciation for having to appreciate something that you might not see ever again.
I think empathy is important because it gets at a hidden value that we don't often appreciate. When we're talking about the value of ecosystems or even individual species, many times we break it down into economic terms. That's us defining what those values are. All these species, in my view, also have sort of an intrinsic value. They've been on this planet, they've made it this far. So when we have empathy for these organisms and an appreciation for their history, we value them more. It's really fulfilling to me. Feeling part of something really huge and complex. That's awe, and awe is a really important feeling for humans.
We should care about deep sea animals because everything is connected on our planet. The deep sea doesn't exist outside of our own worlds. To understand the deep sea is also to understand ourselves and how our life on the surface is actually driven by some of the processes that happen and some of the animals that live and thrive in our deep oceans.
You might think that the distance, the depth, the unfamiliarity makes this like an especially challenging empathy context. But I think there are several factors like curiosity, interest, a sense of planetary stewardship and responsibility, are levers that we could try to appeal to motivate people. Perhaps in an ironic way, maybe the very distance and depth might actually be the very interest factor that could make people value the act of empathizing even more.